promise we don't bite.
Yeah, I had a question about what you said about AI, and obviously it's a fact of all of our lives now, and it will be a fact of all these young people's lives for the rest of their lives. So it doesn't have to be specific to LGK, but how does the school, how are we going to integrate that into what they learn going forward?
Yes. We do have, the district has a appropriate use of AI sort of graphic that they have posted that we use when we talk about AI in L2K as well as in other classes. And so we do talk about appropriate use. To start off, we kind of categorically say no AI, but then we do sort of distinguish between idea generation, because in the class, it's the fact that they are thinking on their own versus using AI to help you with your phrasing. And so we do talk about AI freshmen in L2K, and then it is being addressed at the district level as well. So we know it's coming, but especially in freshman year, we want them really to be doing that deep critical thinking on their own, especially with the like the idea generation. And generally, I mean, I've been in the program since 2004. Even with the advent of AI, I've had very few issues in the Legacy 2000 program where we've had AI used in a unethical manner.
My follow-up question for that, I think if we start with the premise that no system is entirely perfect, is there an opportunity for evidence if something's flagged, or is there a secondary system that's used to double check the primary system if something's flagged as AI?
Absolutely.
Sometimes there can be false.
Yes, false negatives. We use Turnitin.com as the AI, but then the students also have to share their Google documents with us. And we have the program that's called Explore Process that looks at the keystroke and gives a more detail. And then we also use DraftBack and the ChatGPT AI checker. So we use at least 4 indicators before we say that it is inappropriate use. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I have 2 questions actually. One is the metrics that you guys need to create assignments that are individually versus assignments that are completed. It sounds like you've got a lot of accountability today, but what if you're in a group and you have people who kind of sign off, but you're doing the hard work? That's one question. And the second question, does LGK have a defined plan or something that will, like, I'm talking about grading of the grade example.
So the second question is easy, no. I think there's 10 or 11 assignments each semester. They're all worth the same amount. The first question is a great question because whether you pick the groups you're working with or you're given a group you're working with, undoubtedly there comes some times where people don't do as much as other people in the group. So in those rubrics, there's 2 things. There's so if these 3 students are given a speech and I'm their teacher, I'm grading it, I'm grading the content of the whole speech. I'm also grading Samreen individually, Ace individually, Sarah individually. So they'll get the grade. And then in group work also, Sarah will give Ace a grade and Samreen a grade, and Ace would do the same, Samreen would do the same. Yeah, they submit those in a Google Doc that we see, and it's usually 20% of that student's grade. So if Ace kills it, which he always did, and everybody in his group gave him a 4, his 20% for his part of the group would be 100%. And if someone didn't give as much, they may have a 2 or whatever it might be, and then their grade would be reflective of that. They still get their individual grades for what they did as a presenter when they were in front of us, but it all averages out. So usually when there's 5 criteria with our rubrics for speeches specifically, and 20% of that grade is student grading student. So, I've seen like times where there's And student grading themselves, actually. So there's times where students are actually harder on themselves than their peers are on them. And there's also times, I know, especially when they work within groups that they choose, that they don't want to be that person who gives their friend not the best grade for the assignment. So it's not a perfect system, but there is accountability that's set up that is confidential. Yeah. Go ahead.
I have 2 questions. Have you thought about having a group project on things like AI or data centers for the kids to critically think about both of those? Different tools are good at different things. I have a friend who has a college student, for example, where they actually did research, understood, why that wasn't always good to use AI on their own versus being told not to use it. I work actually in data, which is interesting. A lot of that is integrated. Have you thought through some of that for the program?
It's in the works. Yes, we've thought of it. We have some pieces coming. The librarian is also going to come and help kind of create some projects with that. And so it's in the works, and you'll see something later this year with it. Yeah.
If your student really is passionate about it, and they should be, given the prevalence of AI, they can spend AI is a really easy tech example to write a log on. So I'd highly encourage any students in here to look around at the world around you and write a log based off of that. I wrote a log about sunglasses, and it was one of the most interesting logs I've ever written.
Other questions?
One more.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sam, you pointed about public presentation and public speaking. Who watched
It depends on the grade level. So in 9th grade, they'll just present to their classmates. So it'll be, I have a class of 29, Mr. and Ms. West are probably the same. In 10th grade students do a big project at the end of the year. They'll present that to 9th grade students is what we're trying. I mean, that's what it's always been. Our schedules got a little bit wonky last year, but this year we're already trying to make sure that 10th grade students will present to 9th grade students. Juniors present to community members and business members as part of their job shadow. And seniors,
More specifically, at the junior level, we have a design night where we bring professionals within the field in to look at their design projects. And so they are giving presentations to professionals in the field of a creative project. And then they also do a community night with their job shadow, but they're also doing the in-class presentations. Senior year, they do a final culmination speech that the senior classes give to the freshman, sophomore, and junior L2K classes. So we try to do that cross grade level collaboration as well. The seniors also have a 40-hour career practicum, and they have to do an exit interview with the person that they did their practicum with and 3 other professionals in the field. And so we try to make it as true to the business model of the field that they're going into. I think it's one of the hugest benefits of the program, quite frankly, the job shadow and the career practicum.
And also, I think it's important to note that with L2K, a lot of it is in your kids' hands, right? And so even in freshman year, although the in-class speeches are centered around presenting to other classmates, if your child, student wants to go out and present to the community, they totally can. And they should be looking for opportunities for extensions like that. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only sophomore or incoming sophomore that presented tonight. And it's just because I was looking for another opportunity to go and speak to kids that are coming into Legacy to hopefully get them excited, as well as parents to try and also get them excited about their kids' new journey and the opportunities that wait.
Were there any other questions? Alrighty. So if we go to the last slide, we do have a Facebook page. So if you want to join that, I also, if for some reason you missed the signing night, and you didn't sign your contract, we do have the contracts in your notebook with us tonight, so if you talk to Mrs. West, Mr. Fleischman, or myself, or some of the student helpers in the back, they can help you with that. And we will all hang out. If you have questions that you didn't want to address to the whole crowd, we will be hanging out for any questions you might have. Thank you again for coming. We are so very excited to welcome you to the Legacy 2000 family, and we hope you have a good rest of your night.